And hello for those with me on Twitch. I am going to continue. Thank you for staying and watching this Let's Play series. I know it's not very exciting. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Twitch people might find it pretty exciting seeing me die all these times. And for those of you on Daily Motion, welcome back. I'm continuing where I left off. Let's see if we can finish mission 17. I don't know how much longer it is. I think it's. I think we're pretty much close to the end. Anyway, so let's get started.
Jones, today's update. After numerous demands, Marshal Waits finally called a public meeting to address the rumors that have been circulating on Sevastopol. But instead of the answers we wanted, he continued to be evasive, and after only a few minutes, he and his team were pelted by projectiles from an angry crowd. A gun was fired, there was panic, and now Waits and what's left of his team are forcibly ejecting us from the terminal. Feels like we're on our own now. Jones, today's update. After numerous demands, Marshal Waits finally called a public meeting to address the rumors that have been circulating on Sevastopol. But instead of the answers we wanted, he continued to be evasive, and after only a few minutes, he and his team were pelted by projectiles from an angry crowd. A gun was fired, there was panic, and now Waits and what's left of the team are forcibly ejecting us from the terminal. Feels like we're on our own now.
Can you hear me? Are you close enough for radio contact? I'm here!
Ripley! Thank God, I hear you! I need you to extend the dog cradle clamps, quickly! There are two, should be close by. Docking clamp guidance system prime. That's it, Ripley. Now use the terminal to extend the docking clamp.
Verlaine, the docking clamps are engaging!
Okay, now find the upper control room.
Verlaine, there is no personnel umbilical. It's long gone.
What?
Wait, I think I can use the maintenance rig instead. If I can find an EVA suit, I can still get to you.
Be careful, Ripley.
That's it. Just let me make it through here. Jesus! Just let me make it through here. Too close. Too close. Verlaine, I'm on my way up to the bridge. Verlaine?
This is Ripley. This is Ripley. Nostromo. Destroyed. With a little luck. The network will pick me up. This is Ripley. Signing off. Signing off.
Alright, let's try this again. Critical review of Alien. Isolation. Easily this game is 7.5 out of 10. Gameplay, 10 out of 10. I mean, there were little buggy things every once in a while. Like there were some times where I couldn't enter a crawl space There were a couple of crawl spaces where the hitbox was off. It really was off. Don't know how to explain it. You know, I think you guys saw that a couple times. But, I mean, stuff like that exists in games. Okay? You're never going to get a perfect game. Ever. And, I mean, even Minecraft has some bugs. I mean, not Minecraft. Minesweeper. Even Minesweeper has some bugs. Obviously, Minecraft's full of them. But Minesweeper, even that has bugs. Art directions, 9.5 out of 10. I'm not giving it 10 out of 10 despite my praises because I'm docking a half point off. I'm pretty sure Amanda Ripley's supposed to be a redhead. I'm pretty sure that's what it is in canon. Looks like that's what they tried to do in here. But the thing about redheads is that they are pale as a sheet. I have way too many friends who are redheads, and they are all friggin' pale, okay? Art directors in video games have been failing at this since Resident Evil. They don't know how to make a redhead look like a redhead, and they like mix ethnicities together that just don't mesh. It's kind of weird. Amanda Ripley's the only one I have a complaint about regarding that. Everyone else, I mean, all the art design for everyone else is great, and it's just a pet peeve with how game designers portray redheads in games. If she's not supposed to be a redhead, okay, but I'm pretty sure she is. If she's not, then you know, I guess I amend that to 10 out of 10. Story, 7.5 out of 10. I'm docking off 2.5 points because it should not have been Amanda Ripley. They did it just for fan service and keeping it all in the family. Where you know, that makes it easy so that they don't have to introduce a new character. Really? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. But I mean, they did a pretty good job. And by pretty good, I mean if it wasn't a pretty good job, it wouldn't be 7.5 out of 10. All right, the story would be much lower. But I say they did a pretty good job because up until you had Amanda Ripley whining like a little scared, you know, little shit, throwing temper tantrums throughout a couple of portions of this game. She's in a dangerous situation. The last thing that happens with any calm or you know, someone who is capable of processing a situation, the very last thing, and this has been psychologically proven, is they throw a temper tantrum. That is a portion of the brain that can only operate under extreme forms of irrationality. Okay? She would not have been flipping out the way she did about 4 or 5 times throughout this. Adversely to that, or conversely, or whatever, on the flip side of that coin, she would then act like the mother hen and say, don't worry, I'll save us. So she went back and forth between being completely irrational temper tantrum throwing to level-headed, full of leadership and the ability and drive to save everybody. Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. Bad character development with Ripley. Very bad. Thankfully, it didn't happen that much. It only happened about 5 or 6 times. It didn't really happen that much. So I'm only taking off 2.5. You could argue within that 2.5 that they rehashed the first movie. They just made it bigger and longer. Okay? Alien was a rehash of, and I said it incorrectly in the last video. Let me see if I can say it correctly now without doing a web search. The terror that came from beyond space, I think. You know what? Let me look that up. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here. The Terror from Beyond. Okay, space. Okay, yeah. The Terror from Beyond Space. As I said, I said it came from beyond space in one of the last videos, and then, you know, I corrected myself but it is really It, the Terror from Beyond Space. That's the one that Aliens ripped off the movie Them, with the ants. You just watch both of those movies. I mean, at that point, they really should have been credited, but I'm sure these guys didn't have lawyers or anything like that to force credits for being based on. It, the Terror from Beyond Space. Oh my god! I mean, it was a bad movie. I mean, there are parts of it that were fun to watch simply because of movie history, but it was poorly written, poorly acted, poorly directed, and I think the only half decent thing about it was the set. But even so, they had a fold up table on the set. Even for a low budget movie, that was. Make it look like something else. I don't know. They must have shot the thing in like 2 days. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm just. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, yeah. I guess Dan O'Brien's screenplay for Ridley Scott's Alien, he does admit. He has admitted that it was It, the Terror from Beyond Space. See, a lot of people were arguing about that. Anyway, I'm going off here, and I added an extra minute to this. I don't really mind it because, if you take something from another screenplay or another movie, even if it's a great movie or if it's a bad movie, and you add more to it, and you make it, not making it your own, but you're paying homage to it without destroying it, and then adding on to with your own ideas, you're contributing to the furthering of the idea of the original script. Magnificent Seven did that with the Seven Samurai. Kurosawa gave his blessing for the Magnificent Seven before they made it, and he fell in love with the movie after he had seen it. So, after he was seeing the production of the movie, he loved that movie. And he loved it because they did things to the script that he couldn't do without taking anything away that he did do. And I feel that the game followed in that vein. Unlike Abrams and what he did with his Star Trek II and Wrath of Khan. He actually took away from the script instead of adding to it. He diminished what was already a great script with its flaws by taking away what was great, and then he tried to replace it with his own stuff that he thought was great. That's like a Raiders of the Lost Ark thing where you're dumping stuff out of the sand and trying to replace the golden idol with worthless sand. This game didn't take anything out of the original. It didn't take anything out of It, the Terror from Beyond Space. It had all the great elements, and then it added to that and expanded it a little bit. Mixed a little bit of Aliens with Alien. So you're getting like 2 movies here, combining to create a third. It's a form of symbiosis that I think is appropriate for the series. And even with my complaints about the script being 7.5 out of 10, it is still superior in every way to Alien 3, which was like people who didn't belong on a prison planet were put on a prison planet. They say that they did horrible things. They didn't actually act like they had done horrible things. I think maybe a couple guys did. They were caricatures of an idea that didn't fit. It is one of the worst Alien movies. Everybody associated with the production hates it for pretty much the reasons that I said, only they, in their own words. Alien Resurrection had a couple of weird things in it, but I think Joss Whedon did a great job. And the rest of the Alien movies, like Alien vs. Predator, despite a couple of great actors and a couple of scenes those movies were trash. And I would like to think of the Alien movie series being Alien, Aliens, Alien Resurrection, and Alien Isolation. So even with my complaints, I would count this as something that I think that you could take elements of and turn into a fantastic movie. You know, the script. And if you want to make it a 10 out of 10 script, remove some of the whiny-ass scenes with Amanda Ripley, make her more of a level-headed actual leader. I don't know. I mean, I really look forward to playing the DLC. I am not going to play the DLC right now. I may go back through this game at a later date and do achievement hunts with Steam. But I'd have to do it on easy, and I may even use cheat codes, console cheat codes, just because the alien. I don't know. I love this game. Played it through Nightmare. Beat it on Nightmare. Yes, I abused the AI in a couple of sections. Yes, you did see me die to fire at least once when the fire was 2 feet away and it wasn't even reaching the height of my boot. Explain that to me. You know, that's a minor quirk with gameplay, but I don't know. I don't know how else to say that. You know, this is one of the most enjoyable games I've ever played, and definitely one of the most enjoyable survival horror games I've ever played. I mean, you know, dating back to when survival horror first appeared, it wasn't called survival horror, it was called Pac-Man. You may think that's funny, but if you think about it, it was the first survival horror game, maybe 6-bit game, so you're not going to get much out of it, but you know, you're not going to get jump scares or anything. But then you flash forward, you wind up with Berserk in you know, the Atari days, and then you slowly come to. You could kind of argue that Castlevania 2 was a survival horror of sorts. I think that's a good argument. Then, of course, you get into the next gen, elevating up from the 6-bit and 8-bit era, 4, 6, 8. You wind up with Resident Evil. And Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 being like a dividing factor in the fan base. I preferred it. I mean, I thought it was great. A lot of people didn't. I still like it. And I also like Resident Evil Code Veronica. And then you have almost sort of a dry spell until Amnesia. You know, you had survival horrors that were okay, not so okay. Get Amnesia, then you get Five Nights at Freddy's, or this game. This game, I don't know, maybe this game came out a year before Five Nights at Freddy's. Either way, this game fits in with that pantheon, you know, and I think it's excellent. And, you know, if you enjoyed this gameplay, get it. Regardless of your feelings you may have towards 20th Century Fox or Sega, if you have any adverse feelings toward them. I don't. I know some people do. But this game is absolutely fantastic. You know, like I said, I think it's 10 out of 10 for gameplay, 9.5 out of 10 for artwork, and 7.5 out of 10 for story. That's heads and shoulders above so many others. And at this point, I'm just gushing, so I better shut this off. Anyway, take care and have fun. Goodbye.